How goes it? I'm Wills Maxwell Jr. and this is What Did We Miss? Here I tell you the stories you might not have heard, and if you have heard them, I didn't tell them to you. What, you're going to other places for news now? Couldn't we have talked about this first? First up, we head to Utah for a look at their time-tested way of repopulating the lakes. The Utah Division of Wildlife Resources has been using planes to dump thousands of fish into the lakes since the 1950s. It's really incredible to see. They released a video showing over 35,000 fish being dropped from the sky. Take a look at this beautiful slow-motion footage. Okay, well that's just fish going from one bucket to another. Let's try to get this air footage, folks. Can we do that? All right. Now, typically fish are restocked through pipes or by car, but a lot of these more remote lakes require aerial restocking, as is seen in this video of them emptying another bucket. Y'all, we have the cool part of the story, right? Anyway, the aerial process is quick for the fish and they enter the lake with a high survival rate. All right, here we go. Check this out. That's what it looks like when 35,000 fish suddenly remember they didn't pack a parachute. Speaking of lake restocking, you wouldn't believe how often I use that segue, officials in Burnsville, Minnesota are asking residents to stop dumping their pet goldfish in the ponds and lake. See, goldfish are an invasive species there. They compete with the natural wildlife for food, eat everything up until eventually they look like this. Last time I saw a fish that big, it was mounted to a wooden board singing "Take Me to the River." They have found close to 30 gargantuan goldfish. They uproot plants, cause more algae to grow, and this leads to poorer water quality. People, please remember, goldfish don't belong in these ponds and lakes. They belong in little plastic bags at carnival games. I played that ping pong ball toss game as a kid. No one warned me that if I won, my prize would be responsibility. We keep up our aquatic theme to meet Michael Packard, a lobster diver with over 40 years experience, who was swallowed by a humpback whale. This man has changed the game for fish stories. Everyone's usually like, I caught a fish this big, and he's like, a fish this big caught me. Packard was diving when he suddenly felt himself enclosed in the mouth of a whale. The whale held on to him before eventually surfacing and spitting him out on land. I feel like this is my fault. Last episode I said, try to convince me there's something more biblical than a plague of locusts. And God was like, deal.
And I was actually in his mouth probably a good 30 seconds. But I still had my regulator in my mouth. I was still breathing. And I was just wondering. Actually, one of the things that went through my mind is just, oh my God, what if he does swallow me? And here I am, I'm breathing air. And I'm gonna breathe in this whale's mouth until my air runs out. Crazy stuff.
I know nothing about this man. What I can tell you though is he was doing something he should not have been. I've never seen a story where a person gets swallowed by a whale for doing the right thing. This man either lied to the Blue Fairy about skipping school or wasn't trusting that his friend is capable of helping him find his clownfish son. I'm sure this was a harrowing experience for Mr. Packard, but he's also very lucky. He could have been swallowed by a goldfish. I'm Wills Maxwell Jr., and that's what we missed.